Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Canadian Gamers, or what we should be calling it International Gamers. You'll hear my voice sounds a little bit off, and that's because I've had a cold for the last couple of days. Nothing too serious, just your usual cold. The weather here has been nothing short of brutal. We have gone from, well, I'm Canadian, so we use Celsius. Sorry for all you American listeners out there.
Celsius for me too.
Yeah, well, good. There you go. See? International gamers all the way. So it's been beautiful out for, like, let's say it's been like, I don't know, 32, 33 degrees, like classic summer type weather for a day. And then it goes down to 9 degrees, 5 degrees, 10 degrees. It's been just ridiculous.
All of a sudden?
Yeah, like the next day.
That is insane, yeah.
And it's been like this for 2 weeks. It's been like that, like on and off, on and off. And I'm sure that's why I caught a cold, just because I don't know what to wear outside anymore.
Yeah, it's really unpredictable. Yeah, I understand that, because we do have a similar thing going on here in Cardiff. It's a nice typical summer day, and suddenly it starts raining, and then it gets cold. But not obviously as cold as in Canada, but I get your point.
Yeah, and it's just been absolutely brutal. So, like, in the morning, for example, I'm not joking, it's been like 7, 8 degrees, something like that. So you have a coat on.
You need like 3 layers of stuff to wear for that.
Exactly. And then you like, I go to work, and I'm at the university. I'll go from one building to another building if I have different appointments and whatnot. And as I do that, I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Because, like, I go outside, I have my coat, I have everything, and I'm like, it's got to be like 18 degrees. And then I look at my phone, I'm like, what the hell? It's like 22. And then like a couple hours later, it's like 32. I'm like, okay, really? Seriously? I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Oh, that is like very insane, man. I don't know how you're dealing with this.
Yeah, well, neither do I. And clearly I'm not dealing with it, which is why I got this stupid cold. So what have you been up to, my man? What's new and exciting?
Well, I just finished my master's exams, and that was like insane. That took a toll on me for the past month. Haven't been doing anything aside from studying, and the occasional Mario Kart match here and there. But it's mostly studying, so thank God that's a relief off my shoulders. And today there's the finals Champions League for all our soccer fans out there, and it's being hosted in Cardiff. So we went out and checked out the fan area, the designated fan area, and they had obviously PlayStation is hosting, or they're part of the sponsorship, so they have this PlayStation area that they have like Gran Turismo playable and stuff like that. I didn't go inside, but it's kind of fun, really nice atmosphere. But I'm not attending the game, obviously, since tickets are like insanely high. I've been looking for tickets since May, and everything is like £1,000 per person. Imagine that. I wouldn't attend. No way. I'm not that hardcore of a fan.
Good God! Wow. Yeah. Ouch. I'm curious with what you're taking. So what happens? You pass all these exams, then what? Or is that it?
I have now a dissertation to hand in, but obviously they need to first. I need to pass first, so I'm going to be getting the results in July, and as soon as I'm cleared, like everything is, and hopefully, fingers crossed that. I pass everything. I start like the dissertation phase, you could say. 15,000 words of a topic. That should be quite interesting to get through.
Perfect. Yeah, you can pick Zelda.
They'll kill me.
Yeah, could you imagine? That would be hilarious. Person's like
critical analysis on Zelda and its relation to the public health.
Yeah, exactly. That would be hilarious. Someone would be like, what the heck what am I reading?
15,000 words of that, imagine.
That would be brilliant. Hey, speaking of all of this, if you ever get a chance, I don't know, do you do much reading, like for pleasure?
Yes.
Okay, there is there's a couple of things. I actually wanted to text you about this. I had a really almost like a life-changing lecture that I attended, I think it was last Monday, by Dr. Gawande. He's, well, I don't want to get into like his whole life story or whatnot, but like he helped with the World Health Organization coming up with their checklist, if you want to call it. He wrote how come every time we do something, there's always
something
a phone
has to
ringing?
happen.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Let it ring. Doesn't matter. We'll just ignore it.
Whatever.
But anyways, he wrote a series of books. I think he's up to like 4 books now. But man, his lecture was so powerful, basically saying how in med school you're taught, like the quantitative elements of medicine, but you're not taught the quality elements of medicine pertaining to like bed manners and stuff like that. And it was a fascinating discussion because he was particularly talking about cancer patients, terminal cancer patients towards the end of their life, and how he just didn't know how to handle that. He felt that there was something wrong with the way he was trained to basically say, okay, these are your options. And then like, what do you want to do? And the patient would say, well, doc, what would you do? And he's like, I'm not supposed to tell you that. So you're you, I'm me. And he was like, I that never sat well with me. And anyways, it was an 1.5-hour lecture that was, it blew my mind how powerful it was. And so I read through two of his books. One is the Checklist Manifesto, and the other one, I can't remember. It's like Being Mortal or something like that. And given the field that you're in, if you get a chance, I would highly recommend checking them out. They're very, very powerful books and could actually make you, a better physician.
I'm quite interested in what you're saying, definitely, and especially since even though I'm not like, you could say, professionally trained in the qualitative elements of public health and medicine, but we've been taking lectures from time to time, and we've been taught like a couple of hints here and there regarding bedside manner, and breaking bad news is one thing to patients who have a terminated, like a terrible illness or some sort. There has to be like a certain way, and we've been discussing, me and my wife, and even with some people back and forth on like how the breaking bad news part is different from culture to culture. Like back in Saudi, I would say a lot of the doctors are trained well to how to break bad news to the patient and his family. But when you go to Germany, for example, they immediately tell you bluntly, like, hey, you have cancer. If you don't do this, you're gonna die. Which is absolutely that's how they work. Their culture in Germany, they're very blunt, the doctors over there. So I'm quite curious of these books. Definitely, I'm gonna take a read.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed. He's actually created a whole guide, because he's basically like, there's one thing to tell someone that your life is coming to an end. He's like, but there's something else about what does the doctor do when the doctor knows, okay, you have 4 options, right? And of those 4 options, 3 of them will make you want to kill yourself. In other words, like, there's going to be so painful, so god awful, and they might give you one more day. That's it. Nothing else. And so what he's done is he's created this guide to basically ask patients, almost like a personal guide, to sort of say, what are your objectives right now? Like, what if I were to ask you, where do you see your health today? And listen to the feedback that the patient says. If the patient says, like, doc, I'm dying, and I just don't want to suffer anymore, and things like that, to change the approach that you take, so that you don't just say, if the person's saying, like, I don't want to suffer anymore, maybe it's like, well, okay, then, there are options where we can just take care of your comfort, for example. Anyways, this has nothing to do with gaming at all, but it was a really, really powerful.
Yeah, and especially since, like I said, I've been dabbling in these things when I'm taking this course right now, the public health. They do talk about like qualitative research and how these things, even the books that he's written, I'm sure that they do help, because a lot of people say that qualitative research, all like the why questions, they eventually help in the quantitative research.
Yeah,
like there's a big relation between both. And it's been getting, like, the qualitative side of research has been getting attention for the past 10 years. Before that, they haven't been published much in journals, but now they're taking it very seriously. And there's a specific methodology to go through the qualitative research that makes it more valid, I would say, because it's all about opinions and feelings and what does the patient think, rather than questions like from a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade your pain? So interesting. That's very enticing.
Yeah, I thought of you right away. I was like, oh man, you would have loved this. And it was quite an honor to actually go and meet him because I sit on Senate at McGill. I was invited to basically have like an intimate, is what they called it, an intimate and interactive session where there was maybe 85 people. And he gave this really powerful story about his daughter's piano teacher that basically had terminal cancer, and he went through like the last stages of her life, and like so his talk was wrapped around that lady, but then he went into all the details of the research that he's been doing and whatnot. And right away I thought of you. I was like, oh, you'd really cool. Enjoy this.
Really cool. I'll definitely give it a read.
Yeah, I'll shoot you the links to some of the stuff there. I really enjoyed it. And considering I'm partially in the field, I'm more in the field, not medicine, but
quality assurance, you would say. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I do process improvement through public health. Is
we actually took they gave us a couple of lectures regarding quality improvement and quality assurance, and when the talk came up about Six Sigma and Lean, I immediately remembered you. Like, yeah, that's Jarrod's field.
That's exactly it. So besides all of that,
what have you been playing?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Because I've been working really, really odd hours lately, it's been really messed up. I've been getting home at like 8:30, 9 o'clock every day, which has been brutal because I haven't been playing much. My poor Switch has pretty much been gathering dust because and it's ironic because it's the system that I could theoretically bring with me, but it's just with all the papers and files and everything that I have to carry with me all the time, I just didn't want it, to get scratched up or to have to lug it around all over the place. So when I was home, let's see, not Thursday, what day was it? Yeah, the Thursday afternoon. I played a little bit more of Dragon Quest Heroes 2, and I'm pretty far now.
The Switch version?
No, actually, ironically enough, no. I bought the digital version of the PS4 version.
Okay.
And wow, man, I've been having a blast with that. You have to know what you're getting into, if that makes any sense. It's a Dynasty Warriors games, of course. I mean, it's one of the Heroes games. But I find that they added a lot of like role-playing game elements to it. So it feels much more like a Dragon Quest game than it does a Dynasty Warriors game in a lot of different ways, which I thought was pretty cool.
I like when they, the developers, or maybe Omega Force, try to make these mashups with the Warrior series and the other games, and they managed to find the right balance, because they did the same with Hyrule Warriors. Even though I didn't finish it, I felt the Zelda, the It factor in that game, so I could understand where you're coming from regarding Dragon Quest.
Yeah, precisely. And I'm about 40 hours now. It's been 3 weeks, I want to say, maybe 2. I'm not sure, but it's been a couple of weeks now that I've been playing the game and really having a blast with it. I believe I'm right at the end of the game now. I had a look at some of the trophies and stuff and had a real laugh. I really did. This is classic Enix of old, and what I mean by that is Enix, years and years and years ago, I take a game like Dragon Quest VII, there's just so much crap that you could do. You literally can play that game for 300 or 400 hours. Even Dragon Quest VIII, if you want to do all of the post-game content,
200, right?
Yeah, you're looking at a long time. And there's tons and tons of weapons. There's legendary items you can make through alchemy, but it requires a grind like you would not believe. That's the one element with Dragon Quest that really has never changed. Truly has never changed. Dragon Quest IX was exactly the same.
Yes.
If you wanted to make, again, legendary stuff, you had to farm certain drops from certain enemies, and you could literally spend 2 hours just fighting, and you never got the damn drop. Well, the trophies are pretty much exactly like that. It will take, I think, 400 or 500 hours to get a platinum in this game. Yeah, because they're you have to own every single sword, for example. Yeah, right. Because the swords, like, again, you can make them with alchemy. Like I said, it's really cool. They did a damn good job linking this with the classic Dragon Quest games. There's also monster medals where you can like spawn your own monsters. There's tons and tons of stuff. And that's all I've been playing pretty much, and having a really, really good time with it. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I had a really good time with Mario Kart, played more of Binding of Isaac, but those things have been all sort of like on the side, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I haven't devoted any time whatsoever to anything. And it turns out that I did indeed lie to all of you. I did not order Ultra Street Fighter 2 because the game came out. I looked at my Amazon, and I've been getting a little confused here because I had certain things pre-ordered, and like the Zelda Amiibos. I'm addicted to those. So
Me too.
I had those things pre-ordered. Although I'm missing one, and I
Which
don't
one?
know. I'm not sure. Okay, there's the Majora's Mask one I've got. There's
Skyward Sword.
What's the third one?
What's the third one? Right, Majora's and Skyward, and is it Twilight Princess? I think Twilight Princess. I think.
I've got the exclusive from Best Buy and Amazon. I don't
hate
know
this. By the way, I hate this. It's
yeah,
really
so do
annoying.
I. And
Yeah.
this is what's been pissing me off like no one's business, is because I don't know who the Canadian retailer is for that third one that I'm missing.
I've been seeing like similar complaints on Twitter with the U.S. collectors. Like there's Mike Damiani, he's one of the biggest hardcore Zelda fans. He's been with us in the Zelda forums, if you remember, TSA, the Silent Assassin. So he's been doing his own thing, and I'm seeing his tweets like hunting for the Zelda Amiibo, and it's the same thing. It's like, what is this? Where can I find this? Why didn't they announce this? Why is it exclusive? It's bonkers, man.
Yeah, it really is, and that's actually what started me off of Amiibos, because the first 2 or 3 waves I bought them all because I love them. I really do. I think they're really awesome little figures just to have. Like I'd actually build a shelf and just like have them all there. But once they started that stupidity, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm not spending $50 or whatever, on eBay to pick up the one I'm missing. Like, screw that.
And it's not just that. You're not gonna waste your time looking around and going to each
exactly.
retailer and like, where can I pre-order? What can I do? It's like, what is this? I don't have time for this.
No, exactly. So, and now it's just I just pick up the ones that I really like for Zelda. And oh, hey, there is something else I picked up. I played it one night. That's it. I forgot about that. It's actually right beside me, and I wanted to do a little unboxing video of this when my voice gets back to normal. Fire Emblem. I picked up Fire Emblem Echoes.
Shadows of Valentia, right?
Yeah, and I played for about 3 hours the first day I got it. Love it. It's really good, actually. It's different than your classic Fire Emblem. I'm not going to explain. I mean, I'm sure you know how it works, but it's pretty cool to explore. Like, there's certain areas that are like, think of it like little dungeons that you actually explore in 3D, where you run around all over the place, and then you get sort of sucked into battle when an enemy touches you, and then it goes into the classic Fire Emblem sort of.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really different, like really different, and I just keep forgetting. It's actually right beside me, and it's ironic because this morning I had a little bit of free time, and I was like, what should I do? I'm like, I don't really feel like going to the TV and like playing some Dragon Quest. I'm like, I'm not sure. I'll do some reading. And now I just remembered, damn it, I could have played that.
My only complaint with that, I was kind of turned off by the announcement that the DLC cost like $45 or something of that sort.
Yeah.
That was insane. Like, that's more than the game's price, and that doesn't include the Amiibo dungeons that come with the 2 Amiibos, the Celia and Alm ones. So that, I think you're paying like $70 for the DLC of the game, which is, what is this? I was like baffled.
Yeah.
Is this inspired by Fire Emblem Heroes? I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I was a little bit turned off by that myself. I did pick up those 2 Amiibos, only ironically enough, because I was out and I happened to walk by EB Games here, which it still exists here. And ironically enough, they actually had a whole bunch of them just sitting on the counter. I was like, hey,
okay, why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly. So
are they packed in the same package, or are they
separate?
They're
packed in the same little box.
Yeah, here in the UK they're separate.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Interesting. How much are they?
I think the same price, like was it £9 or £10 per amiibo, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the duo pack was actually really cheap. I think it was like $20 or something. Like it was a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so I was like,
why
okay,
not?
well, yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think that's a good enough introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move on into what this podcast is going to be all about. And Steven has challenged Ahmed and I to sort of a little game. He wants us to talk about, he wants us to make 5 predictions for E3 17. And basically he's going to judge us, and I forget what he said. He's like, the winner shall be known as, I forget, it's like the legendary one or something, and it's like the loser will be known as the shameful one. So I said, well, that's not fair, because if I'm going up against you, I'm like, there's no chance in hell I have of winning this. So what we'll do is we'll start off with that. I'm going to let you go first, and then like just, say one prediction, I'll say another one, and we'll keep going like that. And then the only rules that we have are that we can't both repeat the same prediction. And when we're done that, then we can actually have our discussion about E3 itself, if there's anything else that you think could happen or that you're hoping that would happen. And I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about pertaining to what I hope happens, but to say that they're actual predictions, I have no idea. So go ahead, man. And we get more points based off of the insanity, like how original your predictions are, if they, of course, come true.
Okay, this is one that I've been like thinking about for the past month or so. Even before I read the rumor that it might happen, I was thinking that Sony is going to announce a competitor to the Nintendo Switch. But it's going to be not like the typical, like, okay, it's going to be copy-paste from what Nintendo's doing. The only thing that I see a gap in Sony's like back catalog. There's no, like, now they say the PlayStation 3 is going to die. And I'm thinking that if they're going to announce this like Switch lookalike, it's going to be a PS3 hub. Like, you could play your PS3 games on a portable system that resembles the Nintendo Switch, and they'll add the bonus of like maybe we'll do something creative with it later. What do you think about that prediction?
Wow, man! If you if that happens, you are going to absolutely destroy me. Absolutely destroy me. I think that's actually very, very interesting. So, would you say? I mean, to take it on the go, I'm assuming when you say PS3 games that to take it on the go would be more like the digital downloads, right?
Yes. Obviously, I don't think it's going to play discs.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's going to be like Microsoft. They're going to start rolling up. They're going to start with like a catalog of like 100 games at launch. And then bit by bit, when they get to whatever emulation thing or software they're trying to use, because as you know, the cell processor is really hard to get down unless you're like emulating it, I would say. So it's going to start with a certain catalog, and then as the system moves on in life, they'll start like adding in more games.
Okay, that's really bold, man. Damn. You are bringing it. I am so screwed.
Do you think it's realistic though to do something like that? Like a competitor
I don't know,
to Switch,
honestly.
Not really, you know.
I don't know. I really don't know, because with Sony right now, it's hard. It's really hard for me to, like, would they want to do something like that given the success that they've had with the PS4, or would they want, like, in other words, do they want to really take the chance of doing any other further investment on hardware, considering I'm pretty sure that the PlayStation 4 Pro or PS4 Pro or whatever you want to call it has not lived up to their expectations. And then there's also,
we talked about that before.
We did. And then there's also VR, the PlayStation VR. Like, has that lived up or exceeded? It depends on if you check out what some of the Sony reps have said, they've said like, yes, it's far exceeded our expectations. But I'm curious because I don't see any true killer apps for that device, and I'm wondering like, do we really want to release another piece of hardware into that sort of ecosystem? I can totally see them, just being crazy enough to do something like that. But I'm wondering, would they do something like that?
Yeah, it might not be realistic since they already have like the PS4, PS4 Pro, and the VR going on. But at the same time, it fills in the gap that and not I won't say it's a niche gap. It seems like that like I said, I really want my PlayStation 3 games on the go, and maybe the only thing to do is like make it like a Nintendo Switch competitor of some sort. I don't know if I'm cheating here, but the other thing that came to mind immediately with this prediction is a PlayStation 1 Classic type of thing, like the NES Classic, because Sony likes to emulate Nintendo when they get as soon as the idea goes out, like the Wii motion controls, they do the 6-axis and the PS Move and whatnot. So I'm thinking that they'll do some sort of like even if it's not the Nintendo Switch replica, they do like a PS1 Classic all-in-one system with 60 games with a PlayStation 1 Air or something of that sort.
See, now that I'll be nice, I'll give you that, even though like that's
I'm cheating, but
yes, you are. Yeah. Damn you.
Yeah, I cheated, but
but yeah, that I can see more likely to happen. I don't remember the year though. Like to me, Sony would save that for like it's
an anniversary.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
But yeah. I don't know. Like when the hell did that come out? It was 95.
95. Right? Yes.
So 95 this year is 27. Yeah, like they might hold off on that for a couple of years. But that's a damn good prediction.
But because I cheated, you're gonna get 2. So
no. I only want 1. It's okay because the more you get wrong, the more points you lose. So go ahead and cheat. It's fine. Okay, this is one that is not original. This is one that I've been talking about for pretty much a year now, or ever since the NX came out, and it's because I'm a fan of the series. And like Steven will make fun of me saying, "Oh, it's not a gamble. It's like it's for sure. It's gonna happen." But because I say this in my prediction, it won't happen. What it is I am really, really hoping that we get a new friggin' Metroid game. I am praying to, well, as it would say in Dragon Quest, I'm praying to the goddess that I will get a new Metroid for the Switch. And if I have to make a prediction, I'm going to say that it would be next holiday season. There you go. So
nice
my prediction. We'll see. Okay. It's certainly not this year. There's no chance in hell that comes out this year. But I think at E3 we'll get a teaser for a new Metroid, and it will be holiday next year. I can't be more precise than that because I think, So
I want you to expand on that prediction of yours. Do you think it's going to be first person or classic 2D, and is it going to be Japanese developed or developed by Retro?
Oh,
just throw it out there. Come on,
you're killing me,
dude. I want you to like throw your prediction there.
Okay.
What do you think Nintendo will go for after the failure that was Metroid Zero? What was it called? Other M. Yeah.
Other M. Yeah. No, I don't see that being developed in house, and I don't see that developed by like Team Ninja or something. But interestingly enough, I'm also not entirely convinced. You see, Retro, how can I say this? I'd be disappointed if it was Retro. And the only reason why is because I think those guys have earned the privilege to do something else.
Yeah.
Like they did.
You're absolutely right. I agree.
And I would personally, I mean, this is just me. So, but prediction wise, I think that would actually be the safest bet, would be them, but I'm really hoping not. So since I have to make a prediction, I'm going to say no. Let's be original.
Nice.
Let's say they give it to another studio, but I don't think it will be like Team Ninja. I don't think it will be Japanese developed, but it could be European developed or North American. I just don't I don't want it to be retro, but I don't want it to be like local Nintendo, like EAD or whatever they're called now, their groups. And you said it won't be 2D, that I assure you. It will be a 3D. First person, I think so. I think it will follow the Prime series.
Okay.
I just really hope that it's not developed by Retro. Like I said, I really want Retro to do something else.
Well, you convinced me. Yeah, I'm right up with you there. I was like, initially, I want retro, but you're very convincing with that argument. I agree. So let's
you're
move on
up.
with okay. This is another one that I've like. I don't know. For the past 2 weeks, it like inspired me all of a sudden. So there's this leak that came out. It's the first half of this prediction is not entirely original. Nintendo, I would think they're going to announce Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to be the compilation. Like they're going to put the 3DS features with the Wii U features into one game. Might put like an extra character or two. I'm thinking, but I'm again not entirely sure. Similar to what they did with Mario Kart 8, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a huge success for them, and I don't think it took them a lot to make. So typically, I think logically they would do the same thing with Smash. But the other part of my prediction, I think they're going to do something to entice people who already bought it. What I thought of is like either they do it as a pre-order bonus or something packed in with the game. Super Smash Bros. Melee HD. They'll pack it in with it or something of that sort, like an enticement for people who already have Smash, and it's going to skyrocket like crazy. Obviously going to cause controversy because the strategy seems similar to what Infinity Ward did with Infinite Warfare. They packed the Modern Warfare Remastered and forced everybody to buy the game, and you couldn't get remastered standalone. So I think Nintendo will do something similar, and it's going to cause controversy, but it's going to sell.
I like that, and that's actually something that I was going to predict. So you took it away. So giddy up. Well, similar to that. I was going to say that, that Nintendo was certainly going to do something with Smash, because this whole thing with the Player 2 Amiibos and all that jazz, I find the timing a little too coincidental. Like, why are you releasing those Amiibos now? To finish off the Smash series. I don't know. To me, there's got to be a reason why they're doing that. Yeah. So that's a good one. That's a good safe one. And I believe you're right. So I'm going to list one more Nintendo one, even though I have quite a few other Nintendo ones. But I want to at least spice it up with at least one Microsoft one and one Sony one. So my second and last Nintendo one is that the Virtual Console will be announced at E3. I don't know which day, but the surprise will be that it will be available after it's unveiled.
Nice.
Dun, dun, dun.
I really wish that this can turn out to be true, because you've seen the recent news with Nintendo announcing the online service, which
I have.
The price was very nice, by the way, $20, and they have this like classic game compilation. They listen to fans, listen to people. It's not going to be a rental, like one free game just for the month. It's going to be like the digital downloads for the NES, and that's different from the Virtual Console. They emphasize that. But because it's coming out in 2018, I'm sort of like skeptical that they're going to release the Virtual Console now. But at the same time, it would be really disappointing that they delay it to the Virtual Console service to 2018. It would be insane for me. So I really hope your prediction comes true.
Well, here we go. I'm going to be even more bold here.
Sure.
I'm going to say that because what they're doing is they're essentially creating Netflix, but for games like... and they've only talked about 3 NES classics. And then they said that Super Nintendo games are something that they're looking at. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, and it's not really bold, but I'm thinking that at the launch of the Virtual Console, we will see GameCube games at launch. And that could be what justifies it. Because then... it could be like, oh, okay, well, the Netflix service is more your traditional quote-unquote classic, like NES-type games, whereas the Virtual Console will go up to and including GameCube games. So I really think we're going to see Virtual Console, and they're going to highlight it. Instead of showing NES, N64, and Super Nintendo games, they're actually going to unveil it, showing us something like... Metroid Prime. And why do I think that? Because it goes right back in to my first prediction. I would love to see them announce the Virtual Console by showing Metroid Prime, and then announce a new Metroid right after.
That would be cool. That would be actually an excellent, like, 1-2 punch.
Exactly. So that's it for my Nintendo stuff. There's a lot of other ones that I could get for easy points, but I want to spice it up.
Nice, good stuff. Okay, back into my corner. I have a feeling, it's not really like a specific prediction, but it's more of like a generalized one. I have a feeling, no offense to Microsoft fans, that Microsoft's unveiling of the Scorpio is gonna bomb. It's gonna do terrible. Because all they're gonna show is 4K version of Prey, 4K version of all the old games that have been released for the past year or two, running in 4K and 60 FPS, and they're not going to show anything original aside maybe from a Halo or the typical like 1-2 games that were Sea of Thieves. I'm really looking forward to from Rare. They might like show more of that, and that's the only thing I'm looking forward to from Microsoft, honestly, because they've really dropped the bomb when they canceled Scalebound, and there are rumors that it's going to be revived, but I really don't think nothing's going to happen in E3.
Okay, well then I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said with my third prediction. Is actually this is bold. Microsoft has started to change the way they have speaking about the Project Scorpio. If you'll recall, previously they said that there would be no difference between the existing Xbox One and Xbox Scorpio. Every game that you played, that you could play on the Xbox Scorpio, you would be able to play on your Xbox One. However, now, all of a sudden, they're coming out and they're saying, well, it's up to the developer if they want to, like lock frame rates or do this and do that. So here's my prediction. I'm not going to say if it's going to be successful or not. I'm saying I have a feeling that at this year's E3, they announce an exclusive Xbox Scorpio game. What game that is, I have no idea, but there will be an Xbox Scorpio, or whatever it ends up being called. There will be at least one, but I think they're going to basically tell you that, yes, you can make Xbox Scorpio exclusives. And by doing that, they will essentially have started the next generation.
Yeah, and that's a very bold one. Yeah, I wonder how is it going to be received, because it seems like that they're blurring the lines somewhat, you think? Yeah,
and like, I'm doing this just to have fun, right?
Yeah, okay.
In reality, what I think is going to happen is exactly what you said. I think they're going to show all kinds of games running in 4K. They're going to show new third-party games running in 4K that will be, they'll make a point of telling you, better than PS4 Pro type of thing. But I do think that towards the end of next year, you will start to see more and more and more developers unlocking the frame rate and making the Scorpio games that are just significantly better than Xbox One. And then I think you'll slowly get to the point where Microsoft will be like, okay, guys, let's pump out some Scorpio exclusives. But just to be fun, that's why I'm saying it'll happen this year. But I don't really think it's going to happen until it's successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, and it's just I can't really feel what they're going for, because it's been so long since they announced the Scorpio, and I'm curious how are Sony going to respond to this, because it doesn't seem that they're going to be releasing anything else unless they really want to later. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think they're going to do anything right now. I don't think they have to do anything right now. If it's true that the regular PS4 is continuously outselling the PS4 Pro, then I don't think, does it really matter? You know what I mean? Can they just wait out another year, 2 years, and then just release the PlayStation 5, and which will be, significantly more powerful than the Scorpio, and go from there?
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
you're up. My corner again. Okay, this is going to be a bold one. I'm predicting that there's going to be a Dragon Quest Blowout on
Oh,
E3.
you suck!
Like, they're going to do everything. They're going to bring 10 to overseas. They're going to announce 11. They're going to do everything. That's what I think.
You're the worst. That was my number 5.
Oh, really?
Well, not exactly. Not exactly, but I will give you that. Okay, so you think 10, which platform?
10. Okay, that's a good one. 10 for the Switch.
Okay. I don't know if you pay any attention to Dragon Quest X news, but they actually just had a what would you call it? Like a conference type of thing in Japan. They had like a live event, and they finally announced the PlayStation 4 and Switch release dates and how much it's going to cost and everything like that.
Yeah, the subscriptions. I did read that somewhere. Yeah, Silicon Era maybe.
So the PS4 one's going to be a little bit more expensive than the Switch one, but the Switch one obviously gives you, you can take it on the go and stuff like that. So if that's true, oh man, that'd be awesome. What about 11? You think both versions, or all three actually?
I think for now it's going to be maybe the PS4 and the 3DS. The Switch seems like a no-show to me. That's what I feel.
Yeah, you know why? I think it's that what they want to do with the Switch version is they want to basically triple dip is what they want to do. So in other words, they're going to get everybody to buy the 3DS and the PS4 version, and then they'll probably release, maybe towards the end of the year in Japan, they'll release the Switch version, which will feature, additional playable characters. Basically, think of it like Dragon Quest VIII on the 3DS compared to Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2. I think that's what they're going to do, where it'll be like maybe 2 additional playable characters, maybe a little bit of, post-game content they'll add and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Okay, well, let's see here. So, my number 4. Okay. Number 4, I think Sony this year at the E3 is really going to emphasize Days Gone. And I'm predicting a launch date of October 2017. Now, we'll have to come back to that in October because, as you know, when they announce dates at E3 for release dates, that rarely actually happens. They can get delayed, they can be moved and this and that. But I'm going to say that I think Days Gone is going to be a big one for Sony at this year's E3. I think we'll probably see either another playable demonstration or just some sort of emphasis will be placed on that game. And I think that's going to be one of their big holiday titles.
Oh, nice. That's a good prediction. You reminded me of Days Gone. I haven't heard from that game in a long time. Yeah, it's been, more than a year since its announcement?
Yeah, it's basically been E3 last year. And, I mean, I was going to say God of War, but I have a feeling...
Where is that, by the way? Yeah, that's kind of disappeared as well. Wow.
Exactly. But I don't think God of War is going to be ready, whereas Days Gone, I think, is more further along. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Okay. The only thing that has that comes to my head, I know it's a very unoriginal one, is the Super NES Mini. Like I don't think I'll get points for that, but maybe I'll make it like I'll put a twist to that prediction. Nintendo, for the first time for these like the compilation system, they're going to announce that you could actually use your old cartridges with the system.
Oh man, you're crazy.
Yeah. I know it's bold, but I feel it would be nice that you could do that. I don't know. That would be cool. Like, everybody would be baffled. Like, Nintendo doing that? Really?
You are one crazy man. That is for sure going to happen. I think these ones, this isn't a prediction, this is just sort of me piggybacking, but I honestly think the Super NES Mini will be a little bit easier to find than NES Classic, because I would hope anyway that Nintendo has learned their lesson, and I hope they really did learn their lesson and give a longer cord for the controller, or wireless would it be even better. I don't expect an SD card type of thing with a digital download service. I don't expect any of that. I expect it to be just like the NES Classic, except I expect them to have way more of them.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay, so my last prediction then, let's see, you've taken two things. So, this one's bold as well. I'm going to say, and it is bold if you know Naughty Dog, I'm going to say you will see the first in-game footage of The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, nice.
And I think I'm totally wrong with that because these guys take forever. But yeah, I'm going to say it. So we will see the first Last of Us 2 gameplay footage, but the game will not, I repeat, will not be coming out this year. No chance in hell.
Yeah, no way. Knowing Naughty Dog and how they take their time to perfect their craft, I'm sure they're going to take it's going to take a while.
Yeah, personally, I don't even know if that'll be out next year. But so, besides now our little prediction game, what other things are you really like hoping for? Or I had a couple of other things that I'm kind of looking forward to, like Spider-Man. I'd like to see where Insomniac is taking that. I mean, that was a pretty cool little trailer we got last year at E3. I'm really hoping that we see a little bit more of that.
In general, for me, like the thing that I hope for from E3 this year is whatever they announce, even if it's like a couple of great new games that are coming out, I want the majority of stuff to come out sooner rather than later. Like, because if you notice that we were talking about E3 last year, and a lot of things that Sony and Microsoft announced, and they haven't been released as of yet. It's really like waiting for these things at times is really difficult, especially when you're really hyped up. That's why I don't want like Square Enix, for example, to
I knew you were
show Final Fantasy VII Remake and Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's gonna take like 3-4 years. If they show footage, at least I want something to come out at the end of 2017 or the beginning of 2018, something like that.
Yeah, I am 100% with you. I am kind of burnt out on this sort of stuff. It's sort of like Death Stranding there from Kojima.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, really, come on. You spent like, a couple weeks to like a month or whatever it is making some CG trailer, but you don't even have like a script. You don't have scenarios. You have nothing.
I absolutely agree, because I find Kojima and especially with this particular title and their development to be very, very obnoxious with their announcements and what they're trying to do right now. They're selling their logo or whatever, their mascot statues for like $500 or $1,000, and you don't even have a game out yet. I know you have the pedigree of Metal Gear, but in the same time, it doesn't give you like the obnoxiousness to like say, hey, we're the best, we're gonna sell our statues for this amount of money, and we don't have any game and product to show yet.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm exactly like that. I actually was saying that to a couple of friends here, where I was like, can you believe this? Like, can you believe this? That these guys basically have like 2 little teaser trailers, or 3 or whatever it is now. And yeah, they're selling like a statue for like $500 or whatever. It's like, wow, guys, how arrogant can you possibly be? Watch this game come out and absolutely suck.
Yeah, that's not a prediction for now, but like you said, I really think that Death Stranding is gonna be overhyped. I don't know. Yeah. I just have the feeling, without Konami's quality control, without the people that he's been working with, and under Konami's helm, I think he's gonna like really build this up towards a corner, exactly like what Lucas did with his prequel movies with Star Wars.
No, I agree. I agree with you fully that, it's going to get...
It's going to be artsy, but the gameplay is going to suck. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even know anything. I just think that he's developing himself a situation here where the hype will never match the reality, and he's doing it himself. And so are all of these game studios that are talking about titles that are years off. Like the Final Fantasy VII remake thing now, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous now that they're bringing it back in-house.
I was like baffled by that announcement, man. I was really looking forward to CyberConnect 2 working with them, because I know they're a really good developer and they make awesome Naruto games. It really fits with the Final Fantasy VII, like Advent Children and what they're doing with it. But I don't know why they announced this all of a sudden, like they're bringing it back. It was weird after all this time.
Well, that's it. So I don't know. I really don't know what to expect with that. I think it's going to actually be like now. It's just like Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it's like, okay, well, you know what? When it comes out, it comes out. It'll be on the PS6, and there we go.
You know what? With Kingdom Hearts 3, what I'm thinking is, it's a prediction. I don't think it's gonna happen in E3, but they might announce this sooner than later. They're gonna make it episodic, like Final Fantasy 7. It's not gonna come out in one.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
that wouldn't surprise me. That really wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. What do you think about that Mario Rabbids game?
Oh man, I talked about you regarding that. I was absolutely flabbergasted, and I'm hyped. Like even ever since I heard of the rumors, I'm like this crossover could be an insanely funny crossover. I love everything about that leak. I really wish that it wasn't leaked and that we get the announcement like and you're surprised and baffled, which is unfortunate with the internet nowadays. But a lot of people hated on it. And
really?
There was a lot of backlash. Like, Rabbids and Mario, what is this? That doesn't make any sense. Mario holding a laser, Peach holding a gun. What's going on? What is this? It doesn't make any sense with the universe. But I have a feeling that it's going to be one of the funniest Mario games we get in years. That's my take on it.
Me too, man. I was like pretty stoked for that. I was like, okay, cool. Because isn't it supposed to be like an action RPG?
Yeah, it seems like something similar to the Mario and Luigi series, but I'm wondering how are they going to make it more special or unique in contrast to Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi. There might be a twist to the gameplay that we don't know about yet, but I'm really looking forward to how they're gonna make this crossover happen, like and which studio is behind this in Ubisoft. This is the guys who made Child of Light. That would be really cool, you know.
Oh, that would be awesome, man. That's a game no one talks about. That was a really good RPG, and I was kind of hoping that they would release that on the Switch, because I'd like to actually go back and play that again. That was a really fun one.
I remember you reviewing it, and I was kind of hyped for it actually, but I didn't get the time to play it. Unfortunately.
And that is exactly what a lot of people told me, and I was like, oh man, like it's like a living, breathing painting, just a beautiful game, and it's not long. That's what I really like. Oh, geez, that just reminds me. Did you happen to catch the trailer for what I'm calling I Am Setsuna 2?
Oh yeah. I didn't see the trailer. I saw the announcement.
Well, take a look at it if you get a chance. Mm-hmm. I think it's called Lost Sphaer or something like that. Yeah, and they
misspelled Sphere intentionally, something of that sort.
Yeah, and honestly, it's I Am Setsuna 2. Literally, it's I Am Setsuna 2. Because even the enemies are exactly the same.
Oh, wow. I didn't expect them to announce something like this so soon. And again, it's going to come out in 2018, which is unfortunate. And I didn't really know that they were going to do something like this since I didn't have the feeling that I Am Setsuna sold well.
Me too.
It seems that it was like below expectations, even though the game seems also, it's something in my bucket list to do. From your review, it seems like a really, really cool game to play. But it's nice that they're making it. I just wish it would release this year, not next year.
Yeah, very, very confused by that one. Now, obviously, I have no idea if it's actually I Am Setsuna 2, but it's just that like they show certain enemies and they're literally taken directly from I Am Setsuna. A lot of the different assets look like they've been reused from I Am Setsuna, which is fine. It's just like I was really surprised that you would announce this prior to E3 with an early 2018 release date. And the pre-orders are already
pre-orders online. Yeah, that surprised me as well. Like,
and I was like, really? Yeah, because the physical edition is exclusive to the Square Enix store.
Oh, so it's going to be a digital release, mostly. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like that's fine, but I still don't understand why you would not have announced something like this in, say, November. You know, like. I'm getting very perplexed why these companies are doing this. And that's why I'm kind of scared for a Dragon Quest Blowout, to be honest with you. Because when the hell would that even come, you know? Yes. Like, if they announce, seriously, if they truly announce Dragon Quest X, and this has nothing to do with your prediction, but how do you see them even going about doing that? Because in Japan there are 3 versions, so you have the main game and 2 expansions that have been released, and these games have so much text, it's staggering, and it's pay to play. So
monthly subscription.
That's right. Like, can you, like, truly, can you honestly see them releasing that in North America and Europe with a subscription? I cannot.
Yeah, I remember also we opened this topic years ago, and we said they might go make it free, but at the same time they would be losing a lot of like money from maintaining the servers. So if they're gonna do a subscription, it better be dead cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, they have a hard enough time selling, Dragon Quest games in general here. That's the only one that I'm not sure how they would go about doing it.
Yeah.
11, I think 11 is a no-brainer, to be honest with you. I think that's a shoo-in. For the PS4 version, I think you are guaranteed that that's coming. Whether or not it's announced at E3, we'll see. The 3DS one, I don't know why people are like, oh, that one maybe isn't going to come. I don't think so. I think
I'm sure it's going to come.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, the 3DS has at least 2 years left. Yeah. So
I'm sure that's going to make it some way or another. Like, they'll be stupid not to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're trying to push the Dragon Quest series more than I think they've ever tried before. I mean, let's be honest. We got Dragon Quest Heroes 1, 2, and Dragon Quest Builders, and they even released Dragon Quest Builders on the Vita here, for God's sakes. I didn't expect that, like, at all. So
absolutely, yeah. And 7 and 8, obviously.
Yeah. Which, of course, that was the huge surprise. So I hope you're right. I really do. That would be absolutely unexpected, and that's it. So of the 3 companies, which one are you actually the most hyped up for?
I'm trying to, like, in between Nintendo and Sony. I don't know why I have a bad feeling about Microsoft. I have no idea. It's just this gut feeling of whatever they're going to announce is going to be disappointing, aside from Sea of Thieves. That's the only thing that I really want to play.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Me and Microsoft, we've had a real falling out. I don't even have my Xbox One anymore. I got rid of it. It was like no point. What the hell? Like, I hadn't used it in over a year, and I was just like, there's nothing coming up that I really care. Even if they announce a new Halo, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I had fun with that series, but I'm done. So now my 2 platforms of choice are Sony and Nintendo. And right now, if I had to pick which one I was the most excited for, I think it would be the Switch, because I'm playing, Nintendo, because I'm playing on the Switch more than I am on anything else. And there's a lot of series I absolutely adore that I want to see come back. I mean, I want to see what does Fire Emblem look like on the Switch. I mean, we're going to see Fire Emblem Heroes for sure, or whatever, Fire Emblem Warriors, whatever. We're going to see that. That's a no-brainer. That's going to be shown. I mean, they're already starting to show screenshots and stuff. But like Metroid, where's Metroid? Like, are we going to get another Donkey Kong? Are we going to get, there's all these other games like Mario, I was going to say Sunshine, Odyssey. What does that actually look like? And I don't mean just some trailer. Like, give me the controller and let me play this for a bit. I haven't played a 3D Mario since Super Mario. What was it called?
Galaxy 2, was it?
Yeah. And so that's just it.
I think Mario Odyssey is gonna be Nintendo's highlight, since they did the same with Breath of the Wild last year. It's gonna be like the conference is gonna revolve around that game in particular. But because of the format that they're doing, we're gonna see a lot of auxiliary announcements, and I think Sony is gonna step up and match Nintendo with that, since they changed their strategy to make it similar to Nintendo's. Like, it's not going to be one day, one conference. It's going to be this blowout and expansion to 3-4 days. So it's a nice change of strategy, and it might benefit them with more announcements stretched out throughout the conference.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening. And I'm looking forward to Sony's too. I mean, like I said, the God of War, I'm calling it like a reboot, but whatever. Like, I'm very curious to see that. Horizon was this, gargantuan success for the company.
Oh yeah, they're going to make it. I think they're going to, if they're going to do something, they're going to announce an expansion for that, right?
Yeah, that's what they were supposed to do. So I'm excited for that. Horizon was a brilliant game. Did you ever get around to playing that?
No, because like I said, it was just it was released close to Zelda, and I wanted to play Zelda first, and I was looking forward to that mostly. And I just didn't get around to Horizon. But as soon as I see a price drop on the digital store, I'm gonna go for it. Like if I see like a nice price drop for that game, I'm gonna purchase it.
Okay, because that's one that's really, I mean, that's excellent. And Days Gone looks okay. Not sure about that, to be really honest. Like when I saw it, I rewatched the trailer from last E3, and
it's a zombie game, right? A zombie apocalypse setting?
It is. And it feels like it's trying a little bit too hard to be like Last of Us in some regards. And yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I had a vibe from it, like a serious Dead Rising. That's what I felt it was.
Yeah, very good. That's very good actually. It's something like that. I'm also kind of curious to see that new Uncharted game. I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called.
There's a new Uncharted game?
Yeah, it's like a side story thing with Nadia and oh man, I can't remember their names right now, but it's not with Nathan, it's not with any of them. It was supposed to be like a DLC pack, but they've actually turned it into like its own game, and it's supposed to be like 10 or 12 hours or something like that now.
That's kind of ambitious. That's cool, actually. That's what I like about the DLC story expansions, is that we don't need to wait that long for them, and you get more bang for your buck for the game that you love. And I'm really hoping that the Zelda, the first wave, I know it's like not a lot of content because I didn't finish the game. It's more enticing for me than you I would say.
Yeah, actually, that's the one that I'm actually a little concerned about. Is I don't know if I'm going to go back for this first pack.
Understandable, completely understandable. Yeah, because there's nothing aside from like doing the trials, and you get the Power Up Master Sword, and some small adjustments with the maps here and there, and the hard mode. Like you could dabble in it, but I don't think you're gonna devote a lot of time to it.
Well, that's just it. Like, what does the Master Sword truly give me? You know what I mean? Like, a fully powered Master Sword, like, are they going to make it that it's a little bit stronger? Because it's not the most powerful weapon in the game.
What I understood, I'm not sure of the wording, but it's going to stay powered up for all time. It's not going to power down, never. That's what I understood. Yeah,
that's what I got too.
Yeah.
But even when it's powered up, there are other weapons that are stronger than it.
Which is the Savage Linnell Blade or something of that sort, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's any of the well, I don't know how they're pronounced, Lionel or Linnell or whatever. Yeah. Like a lot of those weapons. But man, I haven't played the game now in months. So to go back and do like that, whatever, the Tower Challenge or whatever it's called, that's going to be absolutely brutal for me because I haven't played in forever. So the combat, I think
you're going to dabble in the hard mode and then just leave it at that. That's what I think you're going to do.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I bought the season pass, so I certainly want to experience at least something, because otherwise I'm going to feel like, well, Jarrod, you're a moron. Why did you pay for that and not get anything out of it? Yeah. But I do hope we get some sort of story, like, edition or something somewhere with these packs. I hope that we can get some little chunk, some little nugget that I can go and further explore some new little area, even if it's like a little island or something. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, it would be cool if they like revise a bit, and with the first wave that's going to be released soon in the summer, instead of like keeping all the story or like an extra island or two, like you said, for DLC pack 2, which is later in the year, they should like put a hidden thing with DLC pack 1, and people start talking to each other. Hey, we discovered something that Nintendo hid with the pack 1, and it'll get people talking.
That would be cool. That was something that I used to love with World of Warcraft, was that as a new expansion was gearing up for a release, Blizzard would slowly add new features and stuff like that, and fans would go around and be like, hey, what the hell is this? And it would lead to like some crypt or whatever, and just like new areas, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. So yeah, I'd be all for that. But I think it's going to be cool. So the last thing I've got, because we're not following our usual format, not for today, F-Zero, will that ever come back?
I think in the long run, no, but Nintendo's gonna do like something of a Nintendo Kart type thing, because we've seen the DLC for Mario Kart Wii U, and there are F-Zero tracks which are excellent. They're awesome to play. So I think they're gonna go that route. That's what I feel, like a Nintendo All-Star Smash Kart, something of that sort.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I feel. It seems like it's gearing toward that direction. It's gonna garner more sales and interest if they're making a crossover with Mario and Donkey Kong, the bigger franchises, and they put the F-Zero, which is sort of a niche game at this point. But I don't know. For me, it's disappointing because I loved F-Zero GX. I'm not a huge fan of the series, but GX to me was absolutely amazing. It was awesome because it was. I think Sega developed it,
yep.
And it had something different that your typical Nintendo games didn't have.
Yeah, that was the last big one that I played that I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. And I don't know, I'm really curious to see what happens now, like with the Switch, because this is the first time this kind of sounds funny, but it's the first time Nintendo hasn't had a gimmick since the GameCube, if you know what I mean. And yes, I know that the Joy-Con, they have their motion and stuff, but that's why they're releasing ARMS and stuff like that. But I'm actually very excited right now for Nintendo, because I'm like, man, we could get like another traditional Metroid game, no motion, no nothing, like back. So I'm sort of like, I'm really excited right now. Now, there were other rumors. Steven was saying, not rumors, predictions. Steven was actually saying that, maybe we'll get a Pokemon game for the Switch, but it'll be a side game. It will not be the third game that everybody's talking about. And the awesome Cranberry that I played Dragon Quest X with, she was saying that she's predicting that a new Kirby game's going to hit the Switch. Which that would be cool.
Yeah, for me, that would be excellent, actually. Even though most of the Kirby games that are coming out are going to be for the 3DS, but since it's his anniversary, the 30th? I can't remember.
I think something like that, yeah.
That would be cool if they put something out of the blue. Like, even if it's not your classic Kirby game, it's something different. Personally, I would really like a sequel to Air Ride. Again, it's the Kirby Racer. I loved it. People hated it back in the day. Like, what is this? It was so simple. It controls with one button. But like most Sakurai games, it's easy to control, but really hard to master. And it was an absolutely amazing game to play, for me, personally. But a lot of people would tell you otherwise.
Well, do you have any other predictions or thoughts or stuff before we wrap this up?
I think one I'll just throw out there. They'll announce a remake of Final Fantasy VI. That's the only thing I have in mind.
Wow, that would be cool, man.
I would go crazy for that more than Final Fantasy VII, honestly, for me. And it'll be released soon. It's not like a crazy super remake. They'll do it akin to Final Fantasy IV for the 3D for the DS, something like that simple, that has updated graphics and 3D models, but it has voice acting and more stuff put into it. It doesn't need to be this amazing cinematic remake, in my opinion, with 6.
Well, you have your prediction. I'm going to say that Square Enix will bring out the Secret of Mana collection.
Yeah, I would love that.
Because that was just released, I think it was yesterday or the day before in Japan. And it will mark the first time that, I don't know what it's called, but it's what is it, Seiken Densetsu 3. So whatever they decide to call it, it will mark the first time it has ever been released in, outside of Japan in English.
Nice. And I really hope I think it's manageable, because the guys who made the compilation, I think they're M2, they're called. I think they're part of Sega. I'm not quite sure, don't quote me on that, but they've been making some of the best emulators for certain systems, like if you play the Sonic games on the 3DS, the one that are 3D, but the classic Sonic games, Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, they've put a lot of effort into their like emulated versions of old games. So I'm thinking that it would be really easy to implement an English patch or text for Mana 3.
I really hope so, because what I'm dying to try with the Switch is something that I've never ever seen done before, where if you buy a Japanese game for the Switch and you put it in your system, and when you boot it, you pick your North American or European account, it automatically turns it to English. Okay.
Yeah, you told me that with I Am Setsuna. You did that, right?
That's right,
Yeah.
but it's not the only one. Any of the games that were released in Japan and in North America or Europe, they will all do that. So what I'm so curious to try, if this ever happens, like if they announce that the Secret of Mana collection, or again, the Mana collection, I guess is what they would actually call it, if that is coming out, I think I'd import it right away. Because I'm dying to see what happens. Like if the game was released like right now, right? It's already out in Japan, or like Dragon Quest Heroes is another one. It's already out in Japan. If you buy that, it's obviously only in Japanese. But
So
what
it stays
happens?
Japanese.
Do you think it will stay Japanese?
I think so. I think people who play Dragon Quest Heroes, they did that. They did the digital import and it stayed Japanese. It didn't turn it to English.
No. Yeah, that I understand right now. But what I mean is, what happens after they release? Because with all the other games in the history of imports that I've ever done, right? I always had to buy the game twice. And I would play it in Japanese, and then I would play it in English. What I am so curious about now is, well, what would happen if I buy the Mana collection in Japanese, and I just play around a little bit with it in Japanese.
And then it gets released in English.
Exactly. Then it gets released in English, and on the day it's released in English, does it automatically convert mine to the English one? Because if it does, how awesome is that?
Man, if they like release a sudden patch for it or something with the English release, that would be so cool.
Damn right that would be. That would completely change the way I would buy my Switch games, because I would be like, well, screw it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just buy the import if it's a couple months early, and that way I have the game, and when it's released in English, who cares? There's a patch, and I'm good to go.
That would be so cool. I hope they do something like that.
Yeah, me too.
Make it more universal, you know?
Well, that's just it. And of course, the biggest thing that I have right now, I don't know if I told you or not, but I didn't get accepted, not yet. But I applied for the Dragon Quest X beta for the Switch.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. And I thought I got accepted. I got an email back from them, but when I translated the whole thing, it was just basically saying that you're confirmed for the beta. You know, we'll let you know when you get closer to the launch, when like if you've been accepted or whatever. But what's so cool with that is I'm praying that the VPN or the IP block.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
Because that's what kills playing Dragon Quest X right now. It's not the language, it's not the monthly sub, it's that damn IP block, because you always have to go through a VPN, which causes lag, dropouts, hangups, all kinds of issues, and it sucks.
Do you think they'll go out of their way and IP block it on the Switch? I don't know.
Well, you see, that's the thing, man. Like, right now in Japan, every single version of Dragon Quest X, with the exception of the mobile and 3DS versions, are IP blocked. But the mobile and 3DS versions use streaming technology, so they're not IP blocked. So you can play anywhere in the world, you can play those versions. The thing is with me is I'm like, yeah, well, the 3DS version doesn't really help me because I'm trying to capture footage. And mobile, again, same deal. It's not really going to help me much. But I'm wondering with the Switch, because of the way the Switch is designed, I'm really wondering, and I've got my fingers crossed that it will be the first and only console version, or let's say version that connects to the TV, it doesn't have to be console, whatever, that will be basically IP free, so that you'll be able to play it anywhere in the world. And if that's the case, I'll buy it instantly.
That would be awesome. I hope they do that. Do you think that you could transfer whatever data you have on the PC to the Switch version?
You can do it for every single one of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
With a fee?
Yeah. So basically, it's associated by console. So for example, if I'm playing on the PC version, right, which I am, if I buy, let's pretend that the Wii and the Wii U were region free, okay, just for the sake of this. So let's say I went over, as soon as I was done talking to you, I went over to my Wii or my Wii U, or even if I had the Japanese version, whatever the case may be. I put in the game, I sign in with my Square Enix username and password, I can automatically play with without any additional fees.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, where
so cool.
the exception comes in is you cannot do that with the 3DS version. It requires a separate sub, and the PlayStation 4 version will also require like a different, subscription. However,
That's
you
surprising.
don't lose your characters though.
Yeah. That's surprising with the PS4, since I do know that Final Fantasy 14 is like truly cross-compatible with the PS4 and the PC versions. Like you could go from one version to another. I'm not sure if it's associated with a fee, but you could move your data from the PC to the PS4 version. So I was thinking that they would do the same with Dragon Quest.
Well, like I said, you can do it with all versions. Like you can take the 3DS version and then log in to the PS4 and play. It's just that there's a fee to do that. And vice versa and stuff. So the ones that are truly quote unquote free, that use the same subscription, if I'm not mistaken, Cranberry can chime in and tell me I'm an idiot. I believe it's the Wii U, Switch, and PC are all on one subscription.
Okay.
But I can still play with the PS4 users, the 3DS users, and everything. Like our gang that we have on Dragon Quest X, Cranberry's playing on the Wii version, I'm playing on the PC version, and Melee is playing on the 3DS version.
Oh, nice. That's an interesting gang you have there.
Yeah, but I think, isn't that awesome that you have 3 completely different platforms, and we're all in 3 different countries too.
And it kind of works seamlessly when I checked out some of the gameplay. There's not a lot of lag per se, unless there are a lot of people in the server or in the area.
Yeah, that's it. And it would be a hell of a lot better if there was no IP block, because then I wouldn't have to run it through a VPN.
Cool. I really hope they do something with this Switch version, even if they release it I don't know. They need to release it in English. I really want to get into this,
Well, if they release it in English, my hope is that they would release the full game, because what would suck would be if I had to go back and redo absolutely everything. I'd still do it because it would be awesome to experience it in my native my native language.
But it's a lot of hours.
Yeah, man. I'm at 200 and something hours in the game now.
No way. No way I would repeat everything. I would dabble, but I don't think I would repeat it to from A to Z.
Well, you should see Cranberry. I'm sure she's at 2,000 or 3,000 hours now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
with the Wii version.
Yep. Man,
isn't she going to upgrade?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if you heard about that. They're canceling the Wii version as of 3.4, I think it is.
That's a good amount of support, I would say.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah, but listen to what they're doing to say thank you to all the Wii users. If you have a registered Wii user account, okay, so they know that you're playing, they know when you log in and which version you're logging into. So if you have a Wii account that you've been playing on, they are giving you for free the Switch version.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. So all she needs to do is wait for the Switch version.
That's it. She doesn't have to do a damn thing. She'll get it all for free. It's like an upgrade, they're saying, to thank you for all of the long-time Wii users.
Well, sometimes Square does some awesome things, I would say.
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really nice touch for the hardcore fans, because the hardcore fans would have bought the Wii version because that was the original launch, version of it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, think of it. There is a Wii game that's out today that's still supported.
That's really, really good dedication, I would say, from the developers and the fans alike.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm pretty happy that they're doing that, and it's good for my Let's Play, of course, because nothing's going to get interrupted. We'll be good to go. But I'm also going to do a little bit of a side series, because you had to apply to the beta, and so Cranberry jumped on the PS4 version, and I jumped on the Switch version. Now, I jumped on the Switch version purposely because I want to test the IP block. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that it's going to be in the PS4 version. There's no chance that they're going to release the PS4 version without the IP block.
An IP block, yeah. It will make sense, because they've been doing it traditionally. But with the Switch, maybe the architecture is different, so it might be not blocked, hopefully.
Yeah, really, hopefully, man, because it's a portable as well. That's the key. See, that's the big thing. Is like,
Because
what if you?
the 3DS wasn't blocked, so
That's right,
it makes
exactly.
sense. Yeah.
So
Don't
we'll see.
block
We'll
this one,
see.
yeah.
I've got my fingers and toes crossed that I think it's like mid-July, I want to say, or towards the end of July. It's right around the time Dragon Quest XI hits when the beta goes up for both the Switch and the PS4.
How are you going to play both Dragon Quest 10 and 11 at the same time?
Well, don't forget, Dragon Quest X is only going to be a beta, right? So I don't know how much of the game it's actually going to be. Like the PC version, if I recall correctly, it was basically the starting area, and I think it went up to like level 20 or something like that, and then just it cut off.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's going to be something like that. Look, honestly, all I want to do with Dragon Quest X for the Switch, I just want to play it for like 10 minutes. I just want to know, does it have the IP block?
Yeah, it's just going to do a quick run through for the IP block. You're right. You don't need to play as much. Yeah.
No, exactly. And you know what? It might have the IP block for the beta, and then the real release won't have it. But I also want to check to see, like, how does it actually look, you know? Like, how does it compare to what I've been playing?
I'm sure pretty favorably, because the game is not that demanding, I would say.
No, exactly. I think it's going to look fantastic, to be honest.
Yep, looking forward to it, especially 11 in my end.
Oh, yeah,
We want to
yeah.
see like a trial through with your if as soon as you get your copy and all the consoles that you ordered with the game.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have like basically the first week of August will be a non-stop like Dragon Quest XI extravaganza.
Vacation.
Yeah, I am. I'm taking 2 weeks off just for that game. It's gonna be great. All right, dude. So I think we will call this a day. So thank you very much, everybody, for checking us out. And be sure to leave your comments. What do you think is going to happen? And Steven would be remiss if I didn't say that the podcast is also available on iTunes and other podcasting services. So be sure to check it out. And that's about it. So close us up, my man.
Hope everybody enjoyed our long-winded predictions and the introduction and the ending with Dragon Quest. It's nice just to like shoot instead of like just being in a standard format. It was fun playing that game. So looking forward to more. Looking forward to E3. We're surely going to be back with another one as soon as as E3 is taking place. So see you guys later.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.